bond between people and their pets is something remarkable. We have a special friendship that we share with animal pals that can sometimes surpass our friendships with other people. Maybe the reason for this is that pets love unconditionally and their loyalty is one of a kind. And your special bond could be with your cat or maybe your dog, whatever your pet is and whoever you are. I think it's safe to say that it's something that makes you feel all warm and gooey inside. And in the rarest cases, this bond of friendship and loyalty can extend to great lengths where a pet's undying affection can actually save the life of its owner. So in this video, we're gonna count down to 10 heartwarming stories of pets that heroically saved their owners' lives. Number 10, the loyal companion. This is a story that seems too surreal to be true, as if it was inspired by an episode of Lassie. A 3-year-old girl named Karina got lost in the rugged and perilous woods of Siberia, known for being a treacherous terrain even for seasoned outdoorsmen. Karina's family feared the worst for the young girl. Luckily for Karina, she had her puppy with her. So for more than a week, the story goes, Karina's puppy remained by her side and kept her warm at night. When hopes of finding her alive slowly faded, the puppy actually ventured into town and led the authorities back to the woods, finding Karina alive and well. A town official said in an interview, "Thank God the girl is safe and sound, and thanks to the dog who did his duty by his young owner when it really mattered to save her life." Number 9, Tara the hero cat. In 2014, the internet washed in shock when CCTV footage captured the harrowing images of a young child being attacked by a full-grown dog. The video, which spread like wildfire online, shows the child in the front lawn of his home riding a bike. The image cuts to another view of the security camera to show a dog that seems to have seen the child and ran to his direction. Out of nowhere, unprovoked, the dog dragged the child off his bike and onto the ground by his leg. Almost instantly, Tara the cat, the child's family pet, darted towards the dog and chased it a few meters away from the home. Thankfully, the child did not sustain any serious injuries, and because of this, Tara the cat's hometown in Kern County, California, proclaimed June 3rd as Tara the Hero Cat Day in recognition of this courageous and most loyal feline that saved her owner. Number 8, Airborne Defense. Taking your parrot out for a walk may be something absurd, but to one woman, it was a decision that saved her from something awful. 1Z, as the parrot was named, was with his owner flying alongside her in a London park when suddenly an unknown assailant approached 1Z's owner, assaulted her, and pinned her to the ground. Before the situation turned for the worse, 1Z attacked the assailant like a kamikaze airplane in a barrage of wing-flapping, shrill squawks and the occasional clawing. Fortunately for the parrot's owner, the bird was able to fend off the attacker and send him running. Number 7, Kiera, protector of the house. You know when people say that it's better to adopt a pet than buy one? For one, you are helping out a poor animal that desperately needs a loving home, and second, buying pets from non-licensed breeders only encourage illegal puppy/pet mills to operate and mistreat animals. And in many cases, dogs that are adopted from shelters need a little introduction to the family it's moving in with. But in the case of the family of a 10-year-old Brazilian girl, they weren't expecting that the level of devotion they were getting from their newly adopted dog would actually save the little girl's life. In 2014, the girl was home alone when a stranger stopped by asking for a drink of water. The little girl, as innocent as she is, let the stranger in and was immediately assaulted by the man, who knocked her to the floor with a blow to the head. Before things escalated and before the girl lost consciousness, Kiera the dog leapt in between the girl and her attacker, biting him and sending him running out of the house. Number 6, biting suspicions. Jerry Dothett of Rockford, Michigan had been nursing a troubled toe for months and putting off several trips to the hospital. Unfortunately for Dothett, the infection in his toe had gotten quite severe that his wife insisted that they go see a doctor. So several beers and margaritas later, Dothett passed out in bed to get some rest before his doctor's appointment. This is when Kilo, their terrier, did something remarkable. While his masters were sound asleep, Kiko went to work on Dothett's toe and chewed most of it. The next day, Dothett woke up to find out that he's missing a large part of the toe. Wasting no time, they went to the hospital and found out that Dothett's blood sugar was at a soaring 560 when it should have been below 120. And since the infection in his toe has already worked its way to the bone, the doctor had to amputate what's left of his toe to prevent the infection from spreading further. Dothett's undiagnosed diabetes was the reason why he was not able to feel his dog chewing on his foot. Initially, Dothett considered putting Kiko down for what he had done, but went against it because had it not been for what happened that night, he might have lost more than just a toe. Number 5, fine feathered friend. When we think of pet birds, sometimes many of us tend to think of them as charming ornaments to our home. We keep them in cages so they won't fly away or get eaten by Sylvester. But we may be underestimating these fine fine-feathered friends when it comes to their devotion to their owners. Dylan the cockatiel is a perfect example of a bird that went the extra mile to show his owner appreciation and loyalty. One night when Dylan's owner Andrew went to sleep after coming home from work, fire broke out in his basement. Too exhausted, Andrew was not able to notice that the smoke was already filling his home and flames were licking his walls. Fortunately for Andrew, Dylan began squawking relentlessly as if sounding a fire alarm, waking up his master. The pair was then able to get out of the burning house safe. Number 4, cat alarm. Slinky Malinky is a name that would conjure up images of a sleazy, greasy-looking gangster from the 30s, but underneath the veneer of this strange name is the heart of a hero cat. Slinky is owned by a retired nurse in England. One day, after having a bad reaction to her medication, the nurse named Jenny collapsed on her floor. For days, she drifted in and out of consciousness, unable to get up and call for help. Luckily for her, Slinky took matters into his own paws to save his owner. After finding a way to get out of the house, Slinky went to a neighbor's house and persistently tapped on a window until he was noticed. This then prompted the neighbor to check on Jenny and immediately call for help after discovering her on the floor. Number 3, support and comfort. Sometimes the most heroic thing that any pet can do is just be with their owners in their toughest of times. The presence of a pet has been known to have a calming effect on people suffering anxieties and panic attacks. Pets can exhibit a kind of empathy and sympathy to their owners whenever something is troubling them. Such is the case with a Rottweiler named Samson. In 2013, a woman from Arizona recorded a video of Samson providing comfort to her son, who was on the verge of a meltdown brought about by Asperger's syndrome. Trained to detect depression and self-harm, Samson came to the rescue of his owner, giving him the calm and comfort that he much needed at that time. Number 2, heroic sacrifice. Captain Frans van der Poel was spearfishing off the coast of Australia with his dog Sky. While her master was in the water, Sky sat in a boat watching van der Poel fish. According to van der Poel, he was underwater when he suddenly noticed that he was being encircled and sized up by 2 large sharks. The life-threatening situation shook van der Poel, but his predicament did not go unnoticed, because seconds later, Sky jumped into the water to fend off the sharks. Van der Poel was able to climb to his boat, but sadly for his loyal pet, she had to give her life in order to save his. Van der Poel later recounted, "She probably decided to jump over the side to protect me. I had 2 good years with her in the end, but sometimes I wish it was me and not her. Sky was special." Finally, number 1, good karma comes your way. In China, a story circulated about a 13-year-old girl who attempted to commit suicide by jumping off a building. Little is known about what may have driven her to that point of depression, but had it not been for her dog Roman, she may have actually leapt to her death. It was told that the teenager was just moments away from jumping off a ledge when her dog held tight onto her skirt, not letting go. Eventually, rescuers were able to pull her back to safety. According to the girl's landlord, Roman came into the girl's life after adopting him months before, and it may have been a form of good karma or something divine that may have brought Roman to her life, which ended up saving her. So yeah, guys, I think something got in my eye, but hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you later.